welcome back. So today I have a really fun video because this is a product that came out and I was like so intrigued by it. I heard a lot of buzz about it, and it is the product from Coverfx, and this is custom cover drops. Okay, so these Coverfx custom cover drops are pure pigment. So they allow you to customize your beauty regimen. So you can add in beauty oils, moisturizers, sunscreen, anything that you want, even other foundations. This is a pure pigment product, and it has this technology in it called Flash Fusion TM, which is like everything, as soon as you drop it into those other everything but the pure pigment flashes off, and it transforms everything into that color, or it customizes the color. I love this idea. So like when you're adding lotions and stuff, it's not lightening up the color or really diffusing it at all. It's really just adding that pure pigment. So sometimes you feel like when you're adding like other lotions and stuff, it's kind of diluting the color. Since this does have that technology in it, doesn't dilute the color. I love the idea because coming into the spring and summertime, I really like to be able to play around with some of my BB creams. I like the properties in those, but sometimes the coverage in some of my other foundations aren't necessarily everything that I'm looking for. So this allows you to kind of transform some of your other products into something that works for you as far as coverage. So it kind of has levels for the drops. So when you're adding it to other products, like 1 drop is sheer coverage, 2 drops is medium coverage, 3 drops is full coverage, and 4 drops is like, hello, full total coverage. There are so many days that I already do mix certain products together, but it's nice to have something that is so pure pigment that you can get that coverage without the weight. So I have the color in N25, and they do have a wide color range selection. They have 25 different shades, so you're able to find your perfect match. Now this matches me perfectly, but I did recently self-tan, so you're gonna see the concoction that I'm using. I'm adding a little bit of another product in, like a liquid bronzer product, just to darken it up a bit. Because I live in Texas, I'm gonna get a ton of use out of this, and I'll tell you why. Because I like to wear products with a lot of sunscreen in them, and so I'm able to mix my sunscreen moisturizer in with these drops and still get good coverage and still feel weightless on the skin. So let me show you my concoction for today. I'm gonna use the Perlice. This is a SPF 30 sunscreen, and it's a daily moisturizer. So I'm gonna mix a drop of that, and I'm gonna mix 3 drops of this in because I do kind of want full coverage. And then I'm going to mix 1 drop of this Maestro Liquid Summer. And this does have a little bit of sunscreen as well. So this is just a little touch of a bronzer, like little tiny dab of it, not even, probably a half a drop. Just because, like I said, I did self-tan, so I am a little bit darker. But if you do have the same coloring as me, if you're as fair as me, N25 is a really great shade, and N stands for neutral on it. They do have different undertone guides, and you can check that out. I'll leave a link down below to purchase this, and there's a guide of what the different undertones are, so that I found that really helpful. Okay, so first up, I'm going to just put a little drop of sunscreen on my hand. And then, I mean, you could just make your own tinted moisturizer. You could use beauty oils if you have extremely dry skin. I mean, the world is really your oyster. So it comes in a little dropper like this. So 1, 2, 3 is supposed to be the full coverage. And I'm just gonna add just a touch of this, like half a drop. So when it says to mix it together with your fingers, and you're creating basically your custom shades right there, and I'm just going to start dabbing this all over my face so that you guys can see, and it just feels so nice. And I mean, it doesn't get cakey and it doesn't break up. I'm using my beauty blender to apply this, but you could use a brush as well. It just blends in so well, and I love how you can control the coverage that you're comfortable with depending on the day, and you have a color that's always going to match you, no matter what products you're mixing it with, unless you are mixing it with what I did, a liquid bronzer. But I just love the fact that it just stays the exact color because of that technology and the pure pigment, so that you just have that option of always having that right color no matter what, you know, product or like moisturizer or whatever. You're getting that customization for coverage. Or if you wanted to get a darker shade, that didn't necessarily match you right now, but you wanted to use that for the summer, you could do that to be adding to some of your other foundations. Add a drop of the custom cover drops, and that way you could take some of your other foundations that you love, add a little bit more coverage, and you could just add one drop and it would really darken up that foundation and add just a little bit extra coverage. And that way you could be using all of your other foundations and still be getting that exact color that you like, as well as the additional coverage. So there it is, and that was with 3 drops, and it was a really nice coverage. But the thing that I want to tell you is that it really does feel like skin. Like it doesn't look heavy on the skin at all. It really feels like the skin. If you wanted to mix illuminator in, if you wanted to mix like I did the liquid bronzer, if you wanted to mix like a shimmery liquid bronzer, there's really so many options when it comes to that, and that's what I love about it. I'm gonna go put on the rest of my makeup. I'm gonna use just a little bit of concealer under the eyes, and I will probably set it with just a little bit of translucent powder, but it really just feels like my skin. It looks like, when I'm looking close up at it, it looks like my skin. Doesn't look like I have any product on, but it's still giving me like a really natural but really great coverage. So I like the fact that it feels really weightless. So I'm going to go finish up the rest of my makeup. I will come back and show you guys what it looks like with makeup on top. And then I'm going to do a check-in at the end of the day so you guys can see how the product held up on the skin and just see that it doesn't break down or break any of the other products that I mixed with it down. It really stays put on the face and stays covering. So I will be right back. Okay, so I am back and I have the rest of my makeup on. If you're wondering what I'm wearing, I will leave it linked down below. So this is what it looks like with makeup on top. I love the way my skin looks. It doesn't feel heavy at all. I think that's because the pigments in here are covered with lecithin, which is like biochemically similar to skin. It smooths out the particles and it just feels very weightless on the skin. It feels very and looks very skin-like. I like the way other products are on top of it. I love the fact that you can just transform and be adding pigmentation and coverage to any of your products. That's amazing. Like I said, because I live in Texas, it's really nice to be able to add my favorite sunscreen moisturizer to any product and really use it to like beef up the product. So this comes with 0.5 fluid ounces. Since it is so concentrated, that's a great amount in a product. You're using it in conjunction with other products. This is a great thing to add to your beauty routine because it's perfect, because you can add it to any product to customize it. So I will do one more check-in at the end of the day so that you guys can see how it holds up on the skin, because I'm really impressed that it doesn't break down any of the other products. I know that that is a concern of a lot of people. On me, it has not broken down any of the other products that I've mixed it with. It holds up, it keeps its pigment, it doesn't really separate, it just kind of lays on the skin. It completely mixes in with the other products. Okay, so I will see you at the end of the day with the final check-in. Okay everyone, so this is the check-in for the end of the day. I just wanted you guys to see how everything is still on my face. I have not done one single thing. I've been running errands. I've gone to gymnastics with my kids. I've done so much today and I haven't touched up my makeup once. You can see my blush and bronzer is still on and it's still like illuminated. It doesn't even feel like it's that dewy or greasy. It still feels really nice like skin. On its own, when I'm mixing it with sunscreen, it tends to take on like a satin finish, the pigment does, but when I'm mixing it with other products like a foundation or with like a highlighter, it would take on whatever that product that I was mixing it with. If it's with a foundation that has more of a dewy finish, it's going to maintain that dewy finish. It's just going to be adding that pure color, that pure pigment to it. This is the check-in at the end of the day, and you can see that it has still held up. It doesn't have any spots where it has like broken down. It really maintains great coverage, great long wear, and when you're mixing it with products, it's not breaking those products down or breaking them apart and separating on the skin. Okay, so you just saw my final check-in. You saw how it held up on my skin. Loving this product, highly recommend it. If you're interested in it, I will leave all the information down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and leave those down below as well, and I'll see you all in the next video. Mwah.